This is my road, let it roll. Pack my dreams in a beat-up leather case, left the dust of that suffocating place. They said a girl like me should stay in line, but I'd rather lose their map than lose my mind. Tune the radio to a station playing wild and free. Windows down, smelling like the pine trees. 500 miles and I'm just getting started. Say goodbye to the heavy-hearted. Oh, nobody's holding the reins tonight. I'm chasing the edge of the morning light. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wings and I'm ready to fly. No yellow lines can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over this town. Freedom, freedom, yeah. Now they call me an outlaw, call me a breeze, shaking the leaves right off of the trees. Ain't no speed limits on the choices I make, with every single risk that I happily take. Got a heart like an engine, loud and true, writing my own rules. Nothing brand new, just an old soul singing with the modern beat, dusting off the pavement under my feet. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wind, can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over this town. Freedom, freedom, yeah, ooh, yeah. And if I get lost in the dark of the night, I know my own stars will show me the light. No more shadows to cover my face. I'm running my pace, I'm winning my race. Freedom, yeah, just let it roll.
Hello everyone. Do me a big favor, you know the drill. Hit that thumbs up button for me, swipe out, swipe back, and let's get on the road. We're just going to let it roll today. It's Wednesday, July 22nd, y'all. We're almost at the end of this month. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. So mark your calendars. I will not be here Monday next week, but I will have a simple stream on Premiere to upload. And let's get into the news. I'm going to welcome everyone in and we're going to talk about the news. Lovely me got here super early today. And Caleb, welcome in. Tammy, good to see ya. Just Jackie, good to see ya. Yep, I love it. And hey, Dina, good to see you, girl. Cake has a girl in the house. Good afternoon, everyone. Tammy says, my husband is going to call and interrupt my favorite live. I love replay. Replay will get you everywhere in the YT game. Hey, you guys, yesterday my baby nephews were at daycare where they baby died. I am so sorry. Is that Florida? Oh my God, my heart. When you said that, I just remembered a video that I watched, y'all. That Santa Barbara puppy, the dog, the bulldog. Did anybody, the English bulldog, did anybody see that? Oh my gosh, that broke my heart. Fur baby went to daycare, doggy daycare. And the guy leaves his dog there. And let me just tell you, broke my ever-loving heart. I mean, it's the video's been going around. There's been protest at the Santa Barbara place. It is wild. So this guy left his dog at the daycare. Bruce, justice for Bruce. And I am so sad. There are people marching for Bruce now, and protesters have gathered all together, and it is breaking my heart. So, anyways, let me show you a quick video of Bruce now that you just said, oh, broke my heart. Oh my gosh. Millions of views, Santa Barbara, California. And it's the last thing that we would ever probably imagine when you leave your loved animal, right? Beautiful dog, too. This guy's a veteran, and this was his service dog. It just broke my heart. Here's the video. Okay, so anyways, he leaves.
When my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly...
So I'm trying to find the actual video. I'm just like, they're having a protest. So he leaves his dog. Let me just see if I've got the actual video. Where is it? No, that's not it. That's not it. Gosh. He leaves the dog at the doggy day camp, and the dog drowns, and they don't even call him. It happened in the morning, and they didn't even call him. He arrives. He arrives at the daycare, and he is so distraught. They didn't even call him to tell him.
Has sparked outrage online. Bruce's owner is a veteran. That afternoon, he went to Camp Canine in Santa Barbara to pick up his dog as usual, but was handed a plastic crate by staff. Upon opening it, has sparked outrage online.
Yeah, they didn't even have the courtesy to call him and tell him his dog had drowned. And the dog had been in the pool for a while. Rigor mortis set in. They didn't even know the dog was in the pool. And the way they're set up in this.
Kill these people! Oh my God, they killed my dog! What do I do? I don't know what to do. Do I call the cops? Yes. I don't know what to do. Call them again. I don't even know right now.
They killed his dog and threw him in a box. No one called him.
Oh, that's my fucking dog. It's our baby, our puppy.
This is where I used to bring my dog. I'm fucking shaking.
Oh my God, kill these people.
So that was a veteran who dropped his dog off at K9 camps yesterday in Santa Barbara. When he came to pick Bruce up, they handed him his dog in a Tupperware, in a box. The man was then told that his dog, his service animal, is dead and drowned. Now, it was stated that this dog was not supposed to be in that pool area and that they tried to save this dog, but others say that is not true, that rigor mortis had already set in and the dog was stiff. They did not try to save it. And according to one of the comments, this dog, during a shift change, had gotten lost, so they did not even know where this dog was. They did call the cops, and the cops didn't do anything. I don't know who commented that he was accidentally put in the big dog yard, but maybe it was an employee, maybe it's not an employee anymore. I'm not. But regardless, they did not contact him and let him know what he was walking into. He showed up, found out his dog was dead, and was handed it in a box or Tupperware, whatever it was.
That just breaks my heart. And when I saw that from Tammy, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine where a baby, this would happen to a baby. It just blows my mind. It does. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I just can't imagine. It happens everywhere. I mean, whether we want it to or not, it does happen. In daycares, in church settings. I don't know the reason why, but this is just unheard of trusting someone to watch your child and then come home to pick him up, or her, or a fur baby, and not even have your dog with you. It may be an accident, maybe just lackadaisical people, but we are just going to say justice for Bruce, justice, Tammy, for that baby. And it might have just been wasn't paying attention, right? But I'm telling you, I see these things, I hear these things, and we live in a world where we trust the daycares, we trust our police, we trust others to do the right thing, and sometimes the right thing doesn't happen. So I hope that they do find justice for Bruce. And Tammy, I do hope they find the reason why it was not told. Oh my goodness. Wow. They didn't tell her what happened. Oh my goodness. That just breaks my heart. That just breaks my heart. They should have some protocol that you call immediately. I mean, that guy waited all day. I mean, that's like dropping your baby off at daycare at 7:37, and you come home after 5:30 to pick him up on the way home, and you're coming in and you walk in and they don't have your baby, or they hand you, a box. I would be so upset, so pissed off, every single emotion, grief at the same time. I couldn't imagine even a stolen baby, right? I had a Maltese stolen from the groomer 14 years ago. They gave him to the wrong person. Never seen him again. We were heartbroken. Oh my gosh. It just breaks my heart. It does. I mean, I've had incredible loss in my life, and I try not to look back at it, but it teaches you a lesson in life to take what you have and never take advantage of it and never squander it, because you don't know if tomorrow is going to be your last. You just don't. The cops was full of cops. Then she got the call. She was on the way to the hospital in the ICU. Wow. That is awful. And I'm telling you, bad things happen all the time, even to people like Brian Koberger, guys. We know this, right? It's not every day that we see something awful and horrible. But listen to this. Netflix got slammed for cash and grab Idaho murders documents, with viewers begging to let families heal as new trailer is released. Now, I don't know about you, but I know how I feel about this. And just for, obviously educational purposes, commentary, and entertainment, all opinions are based on public information and speculation. No accusation, defamation, or legal advice is intended on this stream. All persons are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law, and viewers should always research and decide for themselves the information that they are given. Now, with that being said, I'm seeing a lot of "you are guilty unless proven innocent" in the news today. Yeah, the pup Bruce was only one. He just had his first birthday days before that. Just days before that. And I can imagine, as a vet with the service dog myself, I just I hate to even think about it. Yeah, so Netflix is getting slammed now for a cash grab, but all these other people weren't before. So this is actually from the Sun magazine, and I know they're a rag magazine, but I'm really interested in what they had said about this new documentary coming out. So basically they said it's going to come out on the 29th, which of course I'll watch the documentary, but I'm going to pick it apart. I am, because I've already written the Sun article writer, Matt Impelli, and I've basically said, have you read any court documents? How can you even promote Netflix's new documentary when half of this shit is gonna be false? I'm getting pretty feisty up in here with these article writers. I really am, because it's time to call these people out, folks. Who's gonna call them out if we don't call them out? Just send an email. Send them the link with the court documents and some key documentaries and Justice for All website, and ask them, how can you ethically write articles? I mean, I know that most of these are being paid on the payroll, but this is horrible. Horrible writing. And then they say, still profiting off this? Enough with these already. Let the families heal, says one ex wrote they wrote an article, cash grab for Netflix, profiting off of serial killers is evil. Wow. So it's okay for the G family to profit off of Koberger, but it's not okay for Koberger to speak up or even write an article or get with anybody to write a book or documentary or a movie. I hope you guys caught that. Another viewer asked, why is everything a documentary? Let these kids rest. I wonder who those two writers were of those X posts. Peacock released a documentary entitled The Idaho Student Murders in 2025. And then Amazon obviously did. And then now Netflix. So we've got Peacock, Amazon, Netflix, 3 books. I'm just saying, you know, I can't wait for the book Moscow, Idaho, Framed. Can you imagine that? Someone else questioned how the new documentary would differ from all the others that have been released. How about somebody who makes a documentary with the factual facts, the truth? How about that one? Wouldn't that be nice to see some truth in this whole story? And some fans obviously has criticized big time the trailer. I don't know if you guys have been reading the comments. It's a bunch of docs already about this incident. What more can you even say about it? These are all the comments that were highlighted. Unless you're actually showing the police search footage of the bodies unblurred and things that are true in nature, it's nothing left really to revel with this, one commenter continued. The trailer for the new documentary begins with the body cam footage arriving at the house where the 4 students were stabbed to death. Christy's mother, Kaylee, was interviewed for the documentary and is seen in the trailer saying, I knew something bad had happened. How in the world did she know something bad had happened? Was it because she had early knowledge that that whole place was shot up, per her niece, per her statements? How could she have known without being told, not even getting in her car to go down there like the other parents? What in the world are we watching? This is the only family that didn't get in their car and go down to Moscow to go check on their kids. They sat around at home and waited for a sheriff to come and knock on their door and tell them that Maddie and Kaylee were both gone. Don't you think that a little odd and strange? I'm wondering. So, what is this 17th doc on it? And yes, I will still watch it, said one commentary user. So many documentaries on this, but I'm still going to watch it, another one wrote. And of course, he pleaded guilty in July of 2025. He received 4 life sentences. And they basically say that the subsequent hunt, I don't even remember a hunt for Koberger, attracted global attention from the media and true crime fans across the world. Many shared different theories, and police received thousands of tips during their investigation. How about the thousands of crime scene photos, the documents, the court records, the motions, the filings? How about they start sharing some of that? What do you think, folks? Don't you think they should start sharing just a little bit more truth in this? Because we are here to dig in for the truth. And here we go. Guys, it was really late when Tim DeWolf said he saw Ethan, or when he got to the Whites. It was really late. And he says, I quote, probably like 1:30. It was really late. Well, let's just dive into this because boy, oh boy, we are it is going to be wild. Get ready. All right. And if you are a fan of lettuce and you can't eat lettuce right now, I'm sorry, but just know Taylor Farm supplies fresh produce to a majority of grocery chains, fast food restaurants, and international food operators. Taylor Farms gets their produce from Mexico, Argentina, Ecuador. So just remember, they also package Walmart, Target, Costco, Aldi, Publix, Albertsons, Safeway, Kroger, organic produce. They're all in that category. Even fresh vegetables, meal kits, consumers directly through the retail shelves. Now, I prefer spinach also, but keep in mind some of these things. I like growing my own spinach and my own lettuce, and I use a variety. So I like the good stuff. All right. I know we can make a whole stream about Taylor Farms, but I'm just saying, just be cautious. I have to eat leafy green veggies on a daily basis. There's no doubt about it. I can't go without eating real folate. Real folate. But I just want you to know that all these packaged salads, be careful, and you cannot wash this stuff off, folks. It is a parasite. You cannot get it from another person. You have to eat the lettuce that was infected. You have to eat the offering that was infected. And how did it get infected? Well, you think about people pulling lettuce from fields, and you think about somebody who maybe ate Taco Bell and might have been sick, and they couldn't make it to the porta potties that they have in the fields for these workers. And that's probably how it got. Who knows? I don't even want to get into it. Let's leave that where it is. So let's get into this interview real quick. This was not, and I told you I would watch it and give you a synopsis, and it's going to lead me back to another interview, which we are going to listen to in great detail. But just so you know, Tim DeWolf, Connor has got a fantastic repository. Thank you, Connor. Here is the link to this. And I'm going to show you real quick what we're going to watch. This guy didn't have much to say. Now, I'm going to give you the backstory on Tim DeWolf. Allegedly, his dad is an attorney. And he was given a summons, a subpoena served by the sheriff that couldn't be served, that couldn't locate him. And I found him in 5 minutes, folks. He works in Boise, and it's all over his LinkedIn. So I don't know why they couldn't serve him correctly, but they tried to serve him in Latah County, wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but then it says he graduated, and it's just wild, okay? And I'm just going to say this for the record. This guy was the president, I do believe, of Sigma Chi. And Sigma Chi has got some secrets, folks. Secrets that you're going to hear about in a second. Because I want you to remember that we are listening to what the detectives are saying. So let's listen to this and let's pick out the BS. You're going to hear it in this guy's voice.
Probably like 1:30. It was really late.
So he got over to the whites probably like 1:30. It was really late. Absolutely, he seemed bothered. This was on the, let me just take a look at what Connor put on here. 11/18/2022. He was interviewed. I believe that was a Friday afternoon, right? And they're calling him on the phone in a murder case. All right. We know a lot of people left. School was still officially out that whole next week that they canceled it. And he is down originally from Washington, and he is down in, I believe, visiting friends in Boise, but they never meet up with Tim. And I'm wondering, Connor, do you know if there's a second interview with Tim DeWolf? Like, do they sit down? Because I have a few questions on people's interviews that maybe we haven't seen. So let's listen to what else Tim, he does sound perturbed.
What time about did you get there, do you remember?
Probably like 1:30. It was really late.
Now let's just think about this for a minute, okay? So let's just go back a little bit. The last time that Xana called Ethan and was not answered before the 1:30 is actually at about 1:16. Xana calls Ethan and it's not answered. And this is when Bethany, they've already left Sigma Chi, the party, all right? A lot of people were coming in and out because Bethany saw Ethan and Xana in Sigma Chi at 12:17 approximately. And just keep in mind, around the same time, Xana was known to take a last picture from her phone at 1:38. So in 8 minutes from now, he says they arrived at 1:30. It was really late. After the party had ended at Sigma Chi, they were going to hang out more. Because, see, on campus, the parties have to be over. Okay? And then off campus, they can go and they can just go ahead and party longer till like 4 a.m.
Okay. And whose room or what room number did you get up to?
Jeez, I don't.
Nobody could remember what room they went up to. At the Whites. Now, this is a big redaction here.
What?
And then it picks up right here.
That specific apartment or the whole complex?
Yeah, that specific apartment.
Okay. So you got there around like 1:30.
Yeah.
Okay. What? We're just like continuing the party or hanging out or what?
Yeah, we were just hanging out because we weren't tired.
Okay. And I guess this something I'm telling everybody as we talk to them. I don't know how old you are, Tim. I honestly I don't care if I discover that you were drinking alcohol or that other people were. That's really not the relevancy of what we're dealing with, you know. So like, if I, for instance, like we discover that people, they smoked weed yesterday or they drank and they're not 21. I literally don't care and nobody does. We're obviously looking at something a lot bigger, you know. So like, I don't want an apprehension or a fear of like, I don't know, admitting to a cop that you drank. I don't want that to like prevent us from finding out what we need to know. So like,
okay, he's saying pretty much, I'm your friend. Tell us all you need to know. We need to figure this out. We got it. But here's the deal. It said clearly, now I would love to see the notes on this because it says at 2:00, Xana takes a picture with Jacqueline Bellevue. Jacqueline leaves Sigma Chi. That already contradicts with Pete's statement that the last time he saw Xana and Pete, they were packing up. It was about 1:30-ish, 1:30-ish. Okay? So, here's the problem. Was Ethan and Xana still at Sigma Chi at 2:00? Or did they leave and walk through the Whites and then something happened? Because remember, I swore up and down that looks like Xana's bracelet. I've showed you several pictures. It looks like Xana's bracelet over at the Whites. Did Xana and Ethan stop by there on the way home at 2:00? Then I show you the video at 2:15 that looks like an ambulance or a car light in the reflection of the 1119 King Road video. And it's just so odd how everyone looks like they are allegedly separated after maybe going to the Whites. So something definitely happened at the Whites. And I think they separated because of the next interview we're going to review. So you have to keep in mind, who's Tim? Well, Tim finally unlocked his Instagram, guys. Finally. I have been waiting for this. And we're just going to go through a few pictures so that we can get to know who Tim and Tim's friends are. This is DJ Myers. All right. You see him in a lot of pictures. All this is public information. Anyone can go through these. All right. Somebody was the horse and he was riding the horse. Somebody else was the bottom. Don't know who that was. Let me see if it tagged. Oh, it was Hunter. Hunter Chapin, by the way. It was Hunter. All right. Because Hunter and him are really good friends, by the way, guys. All right. So Hunter was the head horse. And, Tim DeWolf and Ethan were good friends too. And then you can see a couple of these other friends like Jaden Shepard, which you're going to hear these names quite often, and Kai Johnson, right? You're going to hear those names. There's his mama and then you're going to see a lot of people that you've never seen before. And what I went and dug into yesterday is this girl looks like somebody that we've heard of on Connor's channel. And sure enough, folks, this is actually Kennedy Fitzgerald's sister. Believe it or not, this is Madison Fitzgerald. And this is Maddie's sister is Kennedy Fitzgerald. This interview. The interview that she says she walked back and walked over to the Taylor Street, and she was so drunk that she walked them back over. All right. So this kind of gives you an insight of who these people are. And this girl, congratulations, she graduated, and she is going to the University of Idaho School of Law, and she'll graduate in 2029. So congratulations, Madison. And there are some friends that are obviously she was seen dating or going to that formal with no other than Tim DeWolf, who we just heard his interview that he really didn't want to talk to anyone. He really didn't want to talk about this case, right? I get it. Some of us get it. And some of his really good friends are obviously Ethan Chapin, Kyle Frey, right? We remember Kyle Frey, right? Kyle Frey, the guy who basically gave all of Sigma Chi's secrets. And we're going to go back just a little bit and we're going to review his interview because there were some secrets. There were some secrets that Kyle gave us. Well, his Instagram is on lockdown still, so we can't go through that one. But let's just look through these real quick. Let's just look through these since he unlocked them all. Oh, there's Hunter. There's Tim DeWolf. There's some friends hanging out, having a good time. I think that's his brother. And there's graduation. There's Ethan. There's a couple of other people. Yep, there's Ethan. Hunter again. Sorry, I didn't mean to call him Ethan. There's Hunter again with Tim. Some friends hanging out at the Seahawks, hanging out at the Vandals, hanging out at Sigma Chi Halloween parties. Yeah, having good times. All right. Remember, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. Looks like he's just having a good time. Now, I've been to this lake. It's beautiful. Absolutely in the middle of the mountains. Good fishing. Absolutely beautiful. Eagle Cap. Gorgeous area. And then obviously some oldies, but goodie pictures. Some new pictures. Beautiful area. Looks like Boise to me. Guinness. Beautiful. Look at that. All right. So that kind of gives you an idea and some background on Tim. Now, remember, Tim is very good friends with Kai. What is his name? Kyle Frey. We're going to go over and we're going to listen to what Kyle Frey says. Again, here is the link for you to have over at Connor's channel. Thank you again, Connor. All these awesome interviews. There is the link. Make sure you show him some love too. Welcome in, everybody. Go back to that photo. That is supposedly the photo of that night. EC under a mask, weird horse thing, torture with that on. Oh, okay. So Ethan was under that mask. I'm sorry. Hunter was under that mask. Let me go back a minute. That was supposedly, well, he posted these May 13th. This is that picture. So May 13th of 2022 was when that was posted. So even if it was some hazing or something, I don't know. But it does say that Ethan is underneath there. So if I click on it, it does say, I'm not Ethan, Hunter. Why do I keep saying Ethan? On the picture, Hunter is tagged. And if I click on Hunter, it goes right over to his profile. Okay, so yeah, they were all friends. DJ, and they all hung out. Colby Pugh, Gus, Ethan, DJ Myers. So there's a lot of people that Ethan hunted. Hunter. See, I just did it again. Woo! I keep looking at their pictures, getting them mixed up. All right, so let's go over to Kyle Frey. And I want you, we're going to review this, but I want you to keep in mind it's December 1st. It's not the 21st. It's December 1st. Okay? This guy was out of town, but they wait for him to come back. Okay? Now, I think this guy is telling some truth. Okay? I do believe he's telling a lot of truth. I want to see how many things that we can pick up listening to this a second time, because this blew my mind, some of the things I picked up out of this.
December 1st, 2022. This is Detective Sergeant Mike Van Leuven. It is 6 p.m. I'm here with Detective Rich Alderson, and we're interviewing at Sigma Chi. I will start just by kind of giving you a little background about the purpose of these interviews. We call these victimology interviews, and I think I mentioned it on the phone a little bit, but we're just trying to get a sense.
So keep in mind that the first, I guess they called him, this is the second interview per se, that he has to go in and sit down because they're doing victimology. Now, I don't know if Ethan lived with Kyle, but Kyle and him are very good friends. Tim, DJ, Kyle, a couple of other guys. And listen to what he tells us and reveals. But not only what Kyle reveals, but what the Detective Van Leuven reveals in his line of questioning. I was blown away. Then we're going to take a little field trip on Google Earth.
From you, how you knew Ethan and or the other girls that were involved, and if you're aware of any problems they might have had, any motivation that somebody might have had to try to hurt them, things like that. So first, I guess let's go back.
Okay, I gotta address this, guys. This Caleb. Now, I've got how many? I don't even know. I'm not even monitoring that. You guys do a fabulous job. 29 likes here. And all I'm going to ask you to do, I don't care if you're trolling, because obviously whoever's trolling, you're doing really good at controlling yourself today. Okay. So controlling trolls, I get you want to know what I found. I get you want to know my opinions. I get you want to know what I have to say and what little pieces that I've put together, because boy, someone is scared out there that somebody's going to figure this out. Guys, I've already figured this out. All right? They know and I know. But anybody else listening, and I know you guys are just typing away on Discord and other people's Discords right now when I go live, which I think is absolutely hilarious. But everything I bring you is factual with receipts, and that's why people trust me. All right? But if you're trolling, just hit that like button.
Did you first meet Ethan?
Out of respect.
It would have been, I saw him during Rush, but I didn't really meet him, but it would have been bid day. I don't know the exact day, but that was last year, because we've been in the house for 2 years. Well, last year, the full year, and then this semester. But it would have been on bid day. That was a bit because they load us up from the lawn that's right next to the arb lawn, or the
Arboretum.
It's right by the Life Sciences building anyways.
Okay, so Sigma Chi is by the Arboretum, right? We know that. We went over that. Kyle is telling us the truth, and he's trying to explain this to somebody who actually went to the college.
Went there, they drove us to trucks over here to Sigma Chi in the lodge, and that was like they put all of the freshmen on the stage, and then they just told us to introduce each other, and then we went straight over to the whites after that. So that was my first interaction with Ethan.
Okay, so they say they went straight over to the whites after that.
The trucks over here to Sigma Chi in the lodge, and that was like they put all of the freshmen on the stage, and then they just told us to introduce each other, and then we went straight over to the whites after that. So that was my first interaction with Ethan.
Okay.
So obviously the Whites is the place to go hang out off campus after hours or whenever and just do a lot of nothing. I get it. You need a break from school, you need some release, whatever. And you're guys, you're going to have a place to hang out off campus, right? For things to happen off campus, not on campus, because you don't ever want to get the college in trouble.
And what did you think of him?
He was dope. He was definitely one of the popular, like, you know, every group kind of has the guys that kind of stick out. And he was definitely one of the, like, the popular guys because, one, he was just tall. I feel like that has something to do with it. And then just very, like nice. Like, he wasn't a person that's like, no, you don't get to come, like, trying to be, like, exclude people. He was more of, like, a, you know, let's party, like, everyone's welcome, the more the merrier, that type of thing.
And did he have a lot of friends? Did he make a lot of friends here at the house?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Did he have problems with anybody here at the house?
No, and I know you guys are probably tired of hearing that, but he was just very well liked, like Ethan, and with other fraternities too. Like, he was just friends with everyone, and I know that that's not helpful, but it's just the truth. Like, I talked about it in my when I spoke at his memorial up in, that I've never seen him mad, because he just wasn't like a controversial like person. He was just like loving and like welcoming, just like Xana, same way. But I've been running through my brain the past couple of weeks trying to think of any sort of reason, and nothing just makes sense. It's just
well, and just so you understand our thoughts about this, from everything we know and everything we've seen, it appears that Ethan was killed because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And, you know, this wasn't intended for him necessarily. That's sort of the gist I'm getting. But
so the detective tells him Ethan was in the wrong place at the wrong time. So why would the detective think about this logically? Why would the detective tell him Ethan was just in the wrong place at the wrong time? Why do you think a detective would say that?
We don't know for sure. So, you know, we don't want to put that out there. But everyone's saying that they can't think of a reason why someone would do this targeting Ethan. I mean, that makes sense. So, but we still need to do this anyway because we need to get all this down. How about family life?
So Ethan wasn't a target, but we still have to do the victimology. Think about it. Ethan wasn't the target. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. This lets them put their guard down to spill the beans. And wait till you hear what Kyle says.
We're talking about his family or his past back home?
Not as much back home.
Another one that doesn't know much about Ethan's family, but they all know Hunter's background. And obviously they have scrubbed this out. Redacted, redacted, redacted.
Did he ever talk about being in a physical altercation with anybody in the past?
Any fights or anything?
Yeah. No. So he wasn't a fighter?
No.
So the detective is specifically asking about the fights. Do you know of any fights that Ethan has been in? Whoa, fights? Now we're getting into, is Ethan a fighter? Were there any fights going on at the Whites? He can't just ask him.
Looks like he was with his size, but no, he was not a fighter.
So I understand that he was living in an apartment off campus because he was academic suspension from being able to live here. How did he take that?
You're going to hear Kyle spill the Sigma Chi secrets. All right? There's 3 secrets he's going to tell him.
It bothered him, and, you know, he didn't like to show that it bothered him too much, but, you know, we were talking here, and and he'd spend a lot of time at Xana's. He rarely slept in his apartment, but he would come over here during the day to hang out my apartment. He'd get down with his classes, obviously for being, suspended academically. So he'd come in here after class, play Xbox pretty much all day, and then he'd go to watch like Monday Night Football, or we'd go to chapter. But it took a toll on him, because if you're academically suspended, you don't get out of little. That really bothered him. He hated that. And then brotherhoods and parties, I'm our risk man, so I wasn't in charge. I'm in charge of the list and everything. And he would ask me to leave a window unscrewed for him so he could sneak in, because with our bylaws, if you're, suspended academic, you can't party with us. You can't come to brotherhoods or anything.
Could he come to chapter?
He'd come to chapter, yeah. And he did come to chapter a lot.
So he couldn't be at the parties, but hey, leave a window open for me and I'm going to sneak in. So that basically tells you that Ethan was not a rule follower. Ethan was not a rule follower, and that's what his best friends, his brothers, are telling everyone.
He was definitely trying to earn back a level of respect amongst the older upperclassmen, I think.
So somehow Ethan fell. He was trying to earn respect back. So I don't know what was going on with Ethan other than he did get suspended. But Kyle's going to spill the beans.
But so he could come to chapter, but not parties.
Yeah, and I mean, he still came in. People would let him in, when
Ethan was liked, they would still let him in. So not only did Ethan break the bylaws, all the brothers who let him party and come in were breaking the bylaws. So they were bending the rules for Ethan.
Some of the upperclassmen went there or whatever, but...
Was he the only person that was academically suspended?
Justin, Kai were...
Justin, Kai, and someone else, he begins to say, that were academically suspended.
Also the same way, and they chose to stay back in...
Are they affiliated with the chapter or no?
No.
Of course, it's redacted.
You have to be, deficient 2 semesters in a row to be academically suspended. So I think he was the only one this year that, besides college, but they just chose to live at home.
Is it a straight GPA for that?
Above a 2.75. If you fall below it, then you're deficient.
So not only was he labeled as not a rule follower or rule breaker or bending the rules, he was not really applying himself at his studies.
So, the apartment that he rented off campus, do you know where that was?
Yeah, it was... I helped him put his AC unit in. It's right over by my brother's place. I don't know the exact address of it. I helped the family move out of there today.
Okay, so his interview is being on December the 1st of 2022. He's such good friends with Ethan that he's just said he's helped them move out of Ethan's apartment. Okay? Yeah, he's such a great friend. It's obviously the 1st. They have to move everything out of Ethan's apartment, and he goes over there. Not only he knows where Ethan lives because he helped Ethan put in an air conditioner, but also he knows where Ethan lives because now his family, he's helped them move out of the apartment.
Yeah, I want to be able to give you the street name, but I know how to get there.
Can you just zoom in on it? I'm the blue dot. Somebody said it was over by 76.
Yes.
Okay, someone said it was over by 76. So let's just go and see where 76 is on the map. let's just check this out. So 76 is right here. It's located at 1311 South Main. And let's look at this as a bigger picture here. Let's just take a step back and let's see how close campus is to 76. Oh, look. It's right literally down the road. 76 station is in the red. Here is Taylor Avenue, and here is King Street. Look how close it was to the campus. Look how freaking close that 70, and I looked for all the 76 stations in Moscow. Folks, it's like literally 1, 2, 3.5 blocks. 3.5 blocks up Taylor Avenue. This is Taylor Avenue. There's Sigma Chi, Alpha Kappa Lambda. Right here is the 76 to the right. And that's the A&W restaurant. 76, Queen Road, apartments, 1122. Look at how close that was. So you're telling me that Ethan rather stay here than just catch an Uber or a Lyft and go right down the road at the end of this road? What? You got to be kidding me. That's how close. That's how close this was. Okay? Let's just take another look real quick. Let's take a look at Google Earth and see how far this A&W station is. And it gives me a few years back. I'm on October 2021, which is probably a good date around there. There is A&W right on the corner, and there is the 76 station. All right. So in order to get to campus, you have to go down Lauder Avenue. So let's just go down Lauder Avenue and see where that takes us. There's a couple of apartments in here. Levick. I don't know which apartment was Ethan's. I'm not on the hunt for that. But we can go and look around and see if any cars were parked around here, because this one says October of 21, which would be the new school year after August. And he probably was living in the frat house at this time. And then it goes to 2023. They've totally left out 2022. So I doubt if we'll be able to see any apartment where Ethan could have allegedly lived. We don't know where he absolutely lived, but we can only speculate here. And as you get around Lauder, you're going to realize where we're at. This is the road that I showed you just in a couple videos ago, that they said there was a security camera here in the window behind the tree, allegedly, that caught Brian Koberger on camera turning down this road, which you'll see the car turn and then go into the other lane. That's how close Ethan's apartment was. You go up here, you turn up Lauder, and you go right into where? Taylor. I believe that's Taylor up here. Up a little ways. I don't know if it'll let me go, but I can try. No, but it won't let me. But you kind of get the idea of where, hey, there's somebody in the yard. You can kind of get an idea of how close this actually was to Ethan's right down here. And I'll go back and do a shot again. Right down there, right down the road, and you turns right into Taylor, this little curve here. Right around there. All right? Right into King Road right here. Bingo, bango. King Road, where 1122 was at the time. And there are Queen Road apartments and Taylor Avenue apartments. So freaking close. You just have to get in the car, drive down here, turn here, drive down here, and you are at the gas station. Bango, bango. That was so close. You can get an Uber in the middle of the night if you needed to. It's a campus town. All right. So, yeah, why do they hide the fact because I think it was so close to campus. I mean, he'd have to be close to campus. He had a vehicle. You could take a bicycle to campus. You could ride a scooter. You could ride an electric bicycle. You can take, I mean, all kinds of alternative ways, transportation to get there. So why were they trying to hide the fact where he lived? Well, Kyle said he lived over by 76. I helped his parents moved out. I believe, yeah, this is what I believed. I believe he might have been living with Xana or in the spare bedroom. And you know what? No one else can confirm where Ethan lived or if they ever really went over there. Was it Ethan's apartment? Was it a friend's apartment? I don't know.
Let's see. I think
Similar car. He's flipping through, I think, his phone trying to find where he lived.
Yes, and I think it was this one. Because I had the parking lot like this, dumpsters. This is right there on the hill. Yeah. So it would be not those ones. It would have been this one. 15.
This one here?
I think that one of those two. I was just there today, but.
Did he say if he ever had any problems with anybody over there that was living at those apartments?
No, yeah, he actually would mention like funny stories about his one neighbor to the right of him. He would just be like the dude will just be out in like PJs and whatever, blah blah blah, just posted up, staring out there. But he didn't really ever spend too much time there because we only talked about it the day I went over there to help him put his AC unit in, and that was during rush this year. It was super hot, but.
When you talked about the guy that was standing outside his neighbor, I mean, was that like the guy was weird or?
No, it was like a funny story, just like, oh yeah, that dude's dope, like this blah 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 blah.
Okay,
but it wasn't.
Now listen to what the detective asks him next.
Like, oh, I'm worried about him.
Did you ever talk about the homeless guy that lived in the van parked out in the street by that apartment?
Why would Van Leuven ask Kyle if he knew about the homeless man that lived in the van parked outside his apartments? Why?
No. Okay. Okay. How about other girls? Has he, besides Xana, was he involved with any other girls up here?
Involved as in
romantically involved, pursuing other girls, no, stealing somebody's girlfriend. No.
Why would he even ask him that kind of question? First, about a homeless guy that lives outside of Ethan's apartment in a van. And then, why would he even ask this question? Listen again to what he says.
Okay, how about other girls? Has he, besides Xana, was he involved with any other girls up here?
Was he involved with any other girls up here? How many other girls could there be?
Involved as in
romantically involved, pursuing other girls.
Pursuing other girls.
No. Stealing somebody's girlfriend.
Stealing somebody's girlfriend. Well, who did Ethan know that had a girlfriend? Stealing somebody's girlfriend.
No. Ethan and Xana were like endgame, like just perfect. I would always ask him when he'd be playing video games, how are you and Zan doing? And it was always like just great. And every time I saw them together, they were great. Everyone else would say the same thing. They were just.
Now, has anyone ever seen Ethan's girlfriend from high school besides me? Has anybody went down that avenue? She was a beautiful girl. And that was his only girlfriend before allegedly meeting Xana. So why would the detective even ask if he knew if Ethan was trying to steal somebody's girlfriend?
Like, I don't know, they weren't like polar opposites. I don't know if people say opposites attract, but like they were like so much the same person, and it just worked for them. Like neither of them got upset, neither of them got mad. They never fought over stupid things that I was told anyways. Because every time I asked Ethan, he was like, "Yeah, we're great."
Yes, Susie, she was a blonde. She was a blonde. Yes. Yeah. Now, it's redacted heavily right here. She was a blonde. And there you go, Private Gemini. But see, stealing somebody's girlfriend. So was Ethan trying to steal somebody's girlfriend? What if it wasn't Bethany and Kai, Private Gemini? What if under speculation it was actually Hunter Johnson and Emily Allant? It's still redacted right here. They're all close to Kai. Why would the detective ask? Because the detective has more information, obviously, and he knows more than Kyle is willing to give up. And not only that, this was on the 1st of December. Just 5 days later, they throw in Brian Koberger's name. Yes, his ex-girlfriend is, yes. Think about this. And the Erica text, right? Think about it. Think about the L5 and L6 fingerprints on the sliding back door that they couldn't exclude Emily Allant and Hunter Johnson. Think about all the evidence of one male and two.
What do you do for work? How do you make money?
Ethan, we didn't talk too much about it.
Was Ethan trying to steal somebody's girlfriend? Well, he was already dating Xana, so I don't think he stole Xana from Pete, did he? I thought Pete and Xana were done. And everybody was happy for Pete and Ethan and Xana.
But no issues as far as him making any big unexplainable purchases.
Oh,
having too much money. Any issues with gambling, anything like that? Online gambling, betting people money.
no, he never was really one of the people that was betting, and the main purchases that Ethan was having were like Taco Bell. Like I'm pretty sure there's still a Taco Bell wrapper over there, but eating out, Qdoba, Chipotle when they go over to Palmer.
Is the bag over here?
The bag.
The Taco Bell bag you're talking about?
I think it's not. I think it's just a Taco Bell wrapper right there.
I was looking for a bag with a receipt in it so we can see how he paid. Okay. Okay, how about drugs? Did he use any drugs besides alcohol?
I think he definitely would use Adderall as just kind of a way to help sober him up. But
what was his source of Adderall?
He would always say he got it from Xana.
Wait a minute. Now Kyle has said that Ethan got his Adderall from Xana. Okay.
And I think, because, I don't know, personally I've never done Adderall. So I don't know who.
So this is taking place at Sigma Chi. He's interviewing Kyle Frey, a really good friend of Ethan, or I think he lived with Ethan. And what he did was said that there was a Taco Bell wrapper, like a burrito wrapper or something, and he's sitting in Sigma Chi. So I don't know why a 3-week-old wrapper would be sitting there in the frat still, and nobody cleaned it up. It was trash, and now they're saying that Taco Bell was there. So did Xana order Taco Bell and Taco Bell went to Sigma Chi? Has anybody checked into that to see if there was a delivery for Ethan and Xana at Sigma Chi? He just referenced a Taco Bell wrapper. From when?
The dealers, so to say, are, but
so he doesn't want to say who the dealers are. But now he's saying that Xana gave Ethan's Adderall.
Adderall.
He would always say he got it from Xana, and I think, because, I don't know, personally I've never done Adderall.
I agree.
So I don't know who the dealers, so to say, are, but I know a lot of times he'd be like, Xana got me an Adderall. Like, we'd be over there partying, day drinking, or whatever, and he'd be like, oh, I'm about to take this out.
So Xana, hold on, I just want to go back a little bit. He said that Xana got him an Adderall. Hold on a minute.
Is the bag over here?
The bag?
The Taco Bell bag you were talking about?
I think it's not. I think it's just a Taco Bell wrapper right there.
I was looking for a bag with a receipt in it so we can see how he paid.
Oh, he was looking for a bag with a receipt at the Sigma Chi frat house. I wonder if they did find one. I wonder if maybe somebody took him to Taco Bell.
Okay. Okay, how about drugs? Did he use any drugs besides alcohol?
I think he definitely would use Adderall as just kind of a way to help sober him up, but...
He would use Adderall just kind of a way to help him sober up?
What was his source of Adderall?
He would always say he got it from Xana, and I think, because, I don't know, personally I've never done Adderall.
Of course it's redacted, saying he's never done Adderall.
So I don't know who the dealers, so to say, are, but I know a lot of times he'd be like, Xana got me an Adderall. Like, we'd be over there partying, day drinking, or whatever.
Okay, so now he says that Xana gave him an Adderall?
So I don't know who the dealers, so to say, are, but I know a lot of times he'd be like, Xana got me an Adderall. Like, we'd be over there partying, day drinking, or whatever.
So he doesn't know who the dealers are, but Xana got him an
He'd be
Adderall.
like, oh, I'm about to take this Adderall, like 10 milligrams or whatever, but...
He knew all the way down to 10 milligrams. He knows more, in my humble opinion, allegedly.
I would say he had talked about cocaine, but I think that was something he tried last year, and then he said he hated it, because I was with Xana and Ethan earlier this year, and we were talking about it, and
he tried cocaine last year, and he didn't like it.
They were both just like, it's just overrated. But I think besides alcohol, it was just Adderall, and then obviously nicotine. But
did he smoke or chew or vape or what?
Vape.
Wait a minute. So, did he say weed too? Oh, yes. Okay. And vaping, don't you have to be 21?
We were talking about it, and they were both just like, it's just overrated. But I think besides alcohol, it was just Adderall, and then obviously nicotine. But
Did he smoke or chew or vape or what?
vape.
Now, y'all, I want to make this very clear. We are not judging anybody. We are just trying to get to the truth, because everyone has thrown out there that, you know, it doesn't include drugs. All right. We're just trying to listen to the truth.
And then
the cocaine use last year, was that just a one-time thing?
I think it was just a one-time. Like, he was never like, I didn't even know about it last year until he told me.
Well, where was Ethan getting the coke from?
But and then also he did smoke marijuana occasionally, but he.
Okay, so Ethan did marijuana, tried coke, didn't like it, now he's on Adderall. But where did he get all this from?
I would not call him like a marijuana user. Like, he wasn't someone that like had a reputation of smoking.
Will smoking marijuana here at the house get you kicked out?
Will it? Yes. We had an incident last year with a member that we had a party and they smoked in one of our apartments and we dropped him. We gave him a Form 51.
Oh, so if they smoke marijuana in the frat house, obviously in Idaho it's illegal. I don't even think they have medical cards. They might in some areas. But they gave somebody a form and kicked them out, I guess.
When I was the proconsul here, we did the same thing with 3 members that had, they bought a...
Okay, so Van Leuven is saying, yeah, when I went to Sigma Chi when in council, he was a previous frat member.
Bag of marijuana in this apartment up here. One of the guys brought it to us.
Yeah, so now our board, like, we'll do random checks. Proconsul and consul will go around and do checks, and it's not weed as much as dab pens that they're looking for. You know,
that doesn't exist back then.
So he's
dab pens, okay. Vape.
Dab pens. But Guile seems to know a lot about all this, folks.
So, you got to be 21 to buy vapes now, right? So, Who was the source of vape pens?
Oh shit.
Well, Ethan never really bought his own vape.
God, this guy backpedals.
He would more so be like he'd be in here sitting in that chair playing video games. So like, all right, I'm gonna go steal a freshman's vape, like while his game was loading. But he did have them occasionally, and he always just would like, oh, Zen has a vape, and then he would hit Zen's vape.
So a bit of a mooch.
With vapes, anyways. He was not afraid to be like, and freshmen just throw vapes at you because, you know, it's a good way to get in with them, I guess.
So does Ethan, or was Ethan, going to the dispensary? Floyd.
Okay, what about past relationships? Did you ever talk about past relationships that maybe he had ended for some reason, either with girls or with guys?
Wait a minute. Let me go back just a little bit.
Relationships that maybe he had ended for some reason, either with girls or with guys?
Occasionally we would talk about like old girlfriends and stuff, but it's not something that would be like, oh, she had a sketchy family or whatever. Like, they're always nice girls, because I'm pretty sure he had a pretty serious relationship in high school, but, you know, that was in high school, and him and Xana were doing so well, so we never really focused on like old relationships, I guess.
Sometimes new boyfriend.
So here's a good one for you. So slang term for dab pen, it's something like with cannabis concentrates or wax or oil. For those asking what's a dab pen, just so you know.
Friends get jealous of old relationships, if that makes sense.
Woo! Did you guys hear that? Did you just hear it, Van Leuven?
Him and Xana were doing so well, so we never really focused on like old relationships, I guess.
Sometimes new boyfriends get jealous of old relationships.
Sometimes new boyfriends get jealous of old relationships. What? Why did he ask him or say that statement? Sometimes new boyfriends get jealous of old relationships. New boyfriends.
Him and Xana were doing so well, so we never really focused on like.
Bam. Bam. Here. We hear that again. Remember, he's good friends with Tim. You know, his little circle of friends. And now he's going to spill the beans and spill the secrets.
Old relationships, I guess.
Sometimes new boyfriends get jealous of old relationships.
Maybe they were talking about Pete. New boyfriends get jealous of old relationships. Woo! Well, let me just tell you, there was a text that was sent to Pete from Xana. And I think a lot of you know what I'm going to say and refer to. That was at 12. Kept trying to call back and forth and said, Xana's cell at 12:20. Text from Xana to Pistol Pete. You good? Wow. Wow. After Xana tries to call Ethan and can't get a hold of him, Bethany sees Ethan and Xana in Peter's apartment before leaving. So they must have left. And then she got a text from Pete. Text to Pete. Are you good? So Xana left Ethan and Pete for some reason. Because Xana is seen over in different locations. But still trying to call Ethan. Xana was still trying to call Ethan up until 1:16. 1:16. And then they must have met back up at 2 o'clock because Jacqueline Bellevue says that Sigma Chi, she leaves Sigma Chi and Xana and Ethan stay. I wonder if they were waiting for their food. She ordered at 2:15. Or they could have been walking back. That's interesting. Let's listen to what he says, because he's about to spill some really good secrets. I'm glad we listened to this again.
If that makes sense. Like if he had a serious relationship with someone in high school and he was like their first love, and then that's gone, and he's moved on to Xana, and then that girl starts dating somebody else, and his relationship with her.
The detective just gave us a scenario.
Relationships, if that makes sense. Like if he had a serious relationship with someone in high school and he was like their first love, and then that's gone, and he's moved on to Xana, and then that girl starts dating somebody else, and his relationship with her becomes a thing in their relationship. And
whoa, that's a wild scenario.
On like old relationships, I guess.
Sometimes new boyfriends get jealous of old relationships. If that makes sense. Like if he had a serious relationship with someone in high school and he was like their first love, and then that's gone, and he's moved on to Xana, and then that girl starts dating somebody else.
Now, he could have used hypothetically anybody's name, but he threw in the name Xana.
Relationship with someone in high school and he was like their first love, and then that's gone, and he's moved on to Xana, and then that girl starts dating somebody else, and his relationship with her becomes a thing in their relationship. Then the new boyfriend can become resentful of that and think that they want to target somebody that's happened before. So do you have a name of the person you dated in high school?
You know, I don't. I could ask and call you, but not off the top of my head.
We'll just make note of it, and that's something we need to readdress. We will. Did he have any medical issues you're aware of?
Not that I was aware of, no.
That's when the captain calls him. So I wanted to listen to this over again because I think this is really interesting. And then Kyle confirms that they were only dating like 7 months. And obviously in the book, The Broken Plea, it says that, Ethan was dating her for 6 months. So that 6-month window was from the summer, which I showed you guys before. And so even if they started this relationship in, let's say, April of last year to November would be around that time frame.
I'm pretty sure they started dating second semester.
Yeah,
she littled Ethan, which I don't know. It's like in Greek life, like when I join the house, I get a big, and they're just kind of like my mentor. But when I'm a sophomore, I'm able to little, say, girls. So if there's like a theta or a kappa, I could be like, and I really get along with her, I could be like, oh, I'm going to.
He's going to drop a bombshell, and I don't want to run out of time. So let's get through this real quick.
Little you because you're dope. You can be in my Greek fam, and then Greek fams will like make a group chat, have fam nights. Like I have one next week, and they'll like kind of hang out and just talk, party.
He's going to drop a massive bombshell. Let me get to it real quick. I don't want you guys to miss this because I'm going to come in tomorrow with the stream that you do not want to miss. You guys don't want to miss this. All right, let's jump to this. And I am going to throw it back up on the screen. Here we go.
Not this year that I can recall. Last year we had problems.
Anything
over there?
Over there, over here. Anybody have something stolen? Anybody have a window get broken? Vandalism of any kind?
Not this year.
Hold on, I got to go back a little bit.
Any unusual incidents happen that you recall? Anything
over there?
Over there, over here. Anybody have something stolen? Anybody have a window get broken? Vandalism of any kind?
Not this year that I can recall. Last year we had problems with. We had some betas. There's a beta and Delta apartment over at the Whites, and we had like $4,000 worth of stuff stolen. A couple MacBooks, like MacBook, our Pro Console. His MacBook was stolen because we pinged it over there at their apartment. There's like a $400 charge at Pullman Walmart at like 5 a.m. But
so somebody stole a laptop, a MacBook here.
Yeah, that was
took it over there.
Year. But yeah, and then we also had guys break in and steal some of our like Huntsman trophies. And I think that was probably more of a freshman thing that the house betas told their kids to.
So he's mentioned delts and he's mentioned betas. Delts and betas.
Come steal it, but not anything this year that I'd say is like unusual.
Okay. Was Ethan a religious person?
He never went to church up here.
Well, of course, they blurted out.
Do you ever see anybody around campus that's wearing a large knife?
Mm-mm.
Come on. The way he asked him around campus. How about off campus? Come on, Van.
Have you ever seen anybody with this knife?
No.
The inflection in his voice. Guys, I bet if he was, in my humble opinion, if he was hooked up to a lie detector, it would have went off like a freaking siren.
Have you ever seen anybody with this knife?
No.
All right. I remember Kelvin mentioning the delts for where to go to for drugs.
You are the greatest of all time.
Y'all, I just love you so much. You guys pay attention. You don't miss a thing. But let's listen to what he says.
There was a stalking incident with a pike that happened last year. Actually, I think it was earlier this year, regarding someone at the Whites. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Okay. Any talk? Did you ever hear any girls talking about the stalkers or anything like that?
He mentioned the Whites. He mentions the Whites.
Talking about the stalkers or anything like that?
Not really.
Two of the girls, Xana and Maddie, I think, worked at the Mad Greek. Did they ever talk about working there, if they had problems with anybody at work?
I never talked to them directly. I mean, Ethan would talk about because he'd get free food. But I never heard Xana when I was around her say anything about that. She seemed to enjoy it because she'd always be smiling when she got back from work.
Did Ethan have a job at all?
No. Like up here?
Yeah.
No.
What was his major?
I think it was business.
I thought he said what was his nature, but he asked what was his major. All right, come on. Y'all redact way too much here.
Did Ethan talk about taking any trips this summer or doing anything interesting this summer that you remember?
No, not that I can think of.
Did you have plans to take any trips that you know of?
No, I mean, we had our day to sig thing we do with the auctions for Derby Days where we all put on a skit. We were all planning on going to, I mean, that was this winter or next spring. We were going to decide as far as the roads went. But Kappa's bought our gig, and I was with Ethan. And our date for the thing was weekend getaway in. So we were going to go to their place.
Ethan's family has a place.
Yeah, I think they just built it because the funeral was or the memorial, but they moved it, and I'm not sure if they're fully moved in yet, but they were talking about being fully moved. Are
they going to move there full time?
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
But they're going to still operate their business.
I don't know. I didn't really talk to Ethan about the specs of it. I just know that they have a place in.
Wow.
And I mean, they grew up in, but I know that they were talking about it. Ethan said it was just
He's talking about Ethan's parents' business. Wow.
a super sick spot. So when we were trying to find a date idea, why don't we just go to your guys' place?
What house was made?
Theta.
Did Ethan talk about where he wanted to live after he graduated?
No, we never really talked about that. We were trying to live together next year.
So he did live with him. So that's the admission that Kyle Frey lived with Ethan in the room at Sigma Chi.
Shit now, blah, blah, blah. We were going to try to get the old Shark Tank, that blue house over there. The AKLs have it right now, but we were going to try to get that. But as far
the AKAs, they have the house right now. The blue house. The blue house, guys.
as like afterwards, I think he was just going to do whatever Santa wanted to do.
You think you plan on marrying her?
I don't know if he thought about it as much, but it was just like so easy for them that I think that like he was like, I just don't see myself without Santa. I mean, he wasn't a guy that like openly talked about his feelings a lot, you know, like we would talk about him, but I just think that he realized that like how good Santa was for him and like how well they got along and interacted that he never really like looked elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
He had amnesia in the beginning of this interview, and all of a sudden his memory comes back. I believe that's called CRS. Can't remember shit when you're asked, but then all of a sudden you have diarrhea of the mouth.
Rich, what did this?
Just a couple things. One, obviously we can't control what you talk about when we're done here, but we do ask discretion because in a lot of these cases, when we're doing this, when people hear about it, they make assumptions of what we're looking for, which isn't always the case. So just we just kind of ask your discretion when we have this conversation about that to talk about later.
And it would be better to just not talk about it at all because it may color it may color some of the other brothers' answers to these same questions.
Oh,
if you talk about it with them. So
no, yeah, absolutely. No, anything that'll make your guys' job easier.
And then the last thing is you understand this campus, the heartbeat, this organism, the differences and everything. Is there anything you feel we should be looking at? Any person we should be looking at? Anything you feel we're overlooking? Anything you think that can help this investigation?
You know, I really wish there was, but it just doesn't make sense. Like I said, I've been thinking about it and like.
Okay, he says it doesn't make sense, but I'm going to show you. Hold on a minute. He talks about an altercation. He talks about the Delts. But he mentions a name.
For the most part, it was Sigma Chi's, Delts, and then just Hi-Fi's.
So the chance of just a random vandal walking up there and just hanging out in the middle of a party?
Yeah, you're probably very likely to get in. I mean, they had a door code, but I think almost everyone knew the door code. So
as long as someone's coming there and not causing...
Like the Delts providing drugs and the Delts hitting on girls that had boyfriends. Like the Delts providing drugs and the Delts hitting on girls that had boyfriends. Like the Delts providing drugs and the Delts hitting on girls that had boyfriends.
That was the detective saying the Delts provided drugs and the Delts hitting on girls that had boyfriends.
And that's getting in fights with a beta, all that sort of thing. Were there any Delts that were going to and from the house where Xena was that Ethan ever talked about? That were like, these guys are a problem, or this guy's a problem, or we had to kick some guy out?
There was one kid, his name is...
Listen to what he says.
But people call him Dr- But he was that was more of like he would get drunk and act like an idiot. There was an incident, and I don't recall exactly what it was about, but Rich he shoved an AFE. I want to say she's an AFE freshman this year. She like. And like he was blacked out and like pushed her over, and Ethan used to love him. Like he would come over, because a lot of the Delts hung out there at Santa's all the time. But I remember
now the Delts held out. They hung out at Xana's, which actually the Delts were friends with Maddie, and Sigma Chi were friends with Xana, so they would all hang out together.
one time Ethan being like,
but they wouldn't hang out there at the same time, guys.
Oh yeah. And I was like, oh, why? And he's like, because he shoved a girl. He's like, I'm not associating myself with him anymore.
So who's?
I could point him out to you, but
You said his name's Ethan?
I believe.
You said his name is Ethan. Did you hear that? Listen real close, guys. I'm gonna slow this down. Says he was with.
Yeah, I want to say she's an AFE freshman this year. She's like, and like he was blacked out and like pushed her over, and Ethan used to love him. Like he would come over, because a lot of the Delts hung out there at Santa's all the time. But I remember one time Ethan being like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh, why? And he's like, because he shoved a girl. He's like, I'm not associating myself with him anymore.
So who's?
I could point him out to you, but
You said his name's Ethan,
I believe his name is.
and is he adult?
He is a dog, yes.
So he's a Delt, and his name was Ethan. Okay, so let's see. Ethan we can find as a Delt in 2022 at the University of Idaho. Let's see. Here we go on a field trip real quick. It's not Ethan Reeder. Ethan, that was a Delt. Ethan, and I don't think it's this Ethan. This is Ethan Knight, but Ethan Knight at the Banfield, was it Ethan Runge? That was a Delt. Yes, you're right. It was Ethan Runge, and Ethan was alleged the one that was dating Kaylee. Isn't that correct? Wasn't that right? We've done this whole rabbit hole. Ethan Runge, yes. And Ethan Runge was also a Delt with Mason Barstow. Isn't that right? Oh my God. Not the Banfield guy. It's not this Ethan. This guy was with AKA. This is not this Ethan. So let me get back to this and let's see what he has to say. Putting more of the pieces together.
Let me get that zipper.
What's the game of choice?
Game of choice?
Yes, and Ethan Runge was a Delt. Here's his brothers. His Mason Barstow. That's Ethan Runge on the ground right here, the only one kneeling. But there's some other ones, and there's Mason Barstow. Not Mason Barstow. Mason, the guy who was arrested for drugs. What is his name? Mason Bangman. Mason Bangman here. And let's just see. Yeah, Mason Joe Bangman, he's friends with. Mason Barstow, friends. At Kyla Nguyen, friends. All right, so he's got a lot of friends. And that's all he posted. Let's see, was he friends with Xana? Oh, he was friends with Xana. How about Maddie? Nope, not Maddie. How about Kaylee? Nope. Kyla Nguyen. How about Ethan? Nope. Ethan Andrich. Remember that rabbit hole we went down before? Who else was he friends with? Any of these people that are involved? So this is the Delts. Boy, this every day this sounds like the Outsiders to me, guys. The Delts, the Phis, the Betas, the Deltas, the Sigmas. Oh my gosh. Jake Schreiger, he was a Delt. So he would know Maddie through Jake Schreiger. He would know Maddie. That would be a connection. Zach Parsons, Lake Campbell. Let's see who else. Ashlyn Couch. Huh. Interesting. Who else? Anybody in common? Probably a lot of these people. All right. So let's listen to see what he has left.
Yeah. On Xbox. This is all Ethan stuff. I mean, I have an Xbox, but I like the hunting game. It's called Hunter Call of the Wild. It's like a big world like GTA, but it's like with hunting, like the wind direction.
Caleb, great question. There is none. About a little bit more time in that interview. If you want to go watch it, it's over at Connor. And here is the link for you. I dropped it in the chat. So many secrets that Mr. Frey has given us. So many secrets. We just have to thank him for that. But come back tomorrow because you're going to want to hear this theory. And this theory is the one that seems to make sense, where Brian Kohberger may come into. You guys don't want to miss it tomorrow. Because we are going to be dropping some massive fire. And don't forget, Freedom Friday. Monday, I won't be here. I will be uploading some videos tonight for premieres on Monday. Nothing is going to be missed in the Idaho 4 case. And make sure you tune back in because our nesters don't miss a thing here at Phoenix Talks. Y'all be well.
Yeah, this is my road. Let it roll. Packed my dreams in a beat up leather case. Left the dust of that suffocating place. They said a girl like me should stay in line, but I'd rather lose their map than lose my mind. Tune the radio to a station playing wild and free. Windows down, smelling like the pine trees. 500 miles and I'm just getting started. Say goodbye to the heavy hearted. Oh, nobody's holding the reins tonight. I'm chasing the edge of the morning light. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wings and I'm ready to fly. No yellow lines can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over this town. Freedom, freedom, yeah. Now they call me an outlaw, call me a breeze, shaking the leaves right off of the trees. Ain't no speed limits on the choices I make, with every single risk that I happily take. Got a heart like an engine, loud and true, writing my own rules. Nothing brand new, just an old soul singing with the modern beat, dusting off the pavement under my feet. This is my highway, my open sky. I've got the wind, can tie me down. I'm leaving my tracks all over down. Freedom, freedom, yeah, ooh, yeah. And if I get lost in the dark of the night, I know my own stars will show me the light. No more shadows to cover my face. I'm running my pace, I'm winning my race. Freedom, yeah, just let it roll.